And thank you for joining us for the last of our series of Manufacturing Day videos. We actually took Manufacturing Day and, like much of the country, have expanded into Manufacturing Month and really wanted to highlight those companies here in South County that have done a great job and have helped really build an industry here. And what better industry than the last 2 days with our drone partners here? We have Darren Hung with us from Newbie Drone. Newbie Drone's a great company that works on both consumer and other applications. We were just having a great conversation about, they've been learning how to fly a drone, and there may be a little bit of an up curve, but once you get into it, it's a really great experience. So without further ado, I do want to hand it over to Ephraim and Darren. So thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll see you soon.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Jim, so much. That was Jim O'Callaghan, our President and CEO of South County EDC, and my name is Ephraim Ibarra with South County EDC. I'm the Assistant Director here, and we're very happy to do this last session of our series of Manufacturing Day or MFG Day celebration. So South County EDC celebrates MFG Day, and Manufacturing Day occurs every year on the first Friday in October, and this year it happened to fall on October 2nd. And a little bit of current news. In 2019, the President of the United States signed an official proclamation acknowledging National Manufacturing Day. And for all of us that are in economic development, workforce development, and that somehow, some way we help the industries, especially the manufacturers. This is a statement that we're taking from the Deloitte and Manufacturing Institute, and they say that over the next decade, 4.6 million manufacturing jobs need to be filled. So we have a lot of work to do. Challenging times, I know, with COVID-19. Would have thought that we used to celebrate Manufacturing Day going in person to the plants and doing a tour, and now we're doing via Zoom. But we're doing what we can and trying to to support Manufacturing Day at a national level, doing it from our corner over here in San Diego. And what is Manufacturing Day? Manufacturing Day addresses common misperceptions about manufacturing by giving manufacturers an opportunity to open their doors and show, in a coordinated effort, obviously, what manufacturing is and what it isn't. And so we're everybody's using in the United States throughout the month of October, the hashtag MFG Day 20. And today we're celebrating Manufacturing Day with Newbie Drone. Our speaker for today is Darren Hong, and he's the Chief Financial Officer. And we're very, very happy to have him here today. I would like to read to you a short bio. Darren Hong is the Chief Financial Officer of Newbie Drone, overseeing the firm's business operations. Prior to Newbie Drone, Darren worked at Facebook, Interbrand, and a private equity firm. Darren has a Master's in Finance from Peking University and a bachelor's degree in Management Science from University of California, San Diego. And Darren enjoys traveling, playing guitar, and making art. As Jim had described the company, Newbie Drone is a developer of drone technologies and is committed to bringing the best immersion drone flying experience and high-quality products to students, consumers, and enterprises around the world. And we're very honored to welcome, and the floor is all yours, Darren.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone, for having me here. And thank you for the nice introduction. Let me put up my slides so I can better inform you guys what we're doing here. Sorry, I'm kind of inexperienced giving talks like this, so please bear with me. So thanks for being here. about Newbie Drone, like Efrain said, we develop drone technology. We focus on immersion, so we are in the sector of drone called FPV Drone First-Person View. First-person view drones started out kind of like a hobby, and it's kind of like DIY, but now it's starting to scale, and then we realized we could probably make them more less custom, not necessarily less customizable, but we can bring out a product that have a lot of different we can consolidate a lot of different companies products into one final drone and then deliver it, kind of just like how DJI does it. But the difference between DJI drones and our drones is that our drones focus more on performance and then like the maneuvering of the drone. So we don't really use a lot of sensors, but our drones you could do racing, you could do freestyle, you could do all kinds of crazy stuff with them compared to the DJI drones are programmed to just fly at a flat altitude and just not hit anything. I have some videos for you guys to see to kind of get an idea what we do. So let me switch to that screen really fast. It's this one. Can everyone see the screen? So this is our commercial that we did for our micro ready to fly kit drone. So you see there's a goggle, that's the goggle. We put the drone inside the goggle, but you could take it out. So now you have a screen where you see from the camera of the drone, right? So when you fly, it's as if you're part of the drone, right? So I think that's the experience that we're trying to sell to people, and it is something that people really do enjoy. And there's another video which you'll see different crafts that we have. We have the smaller ones and then we have the bigger ones. You'll see the flight footage of the bigger ones, but you wouldn't see the actual bigger drone. I might have to show you a picture later, but this should let you guys get an idea of the different flights that they can do compared to the DJI drones. So that's like a dive, like a building dive. You can't do that with DJI drones. And these drones can cruise up to like 100 miles per hour too, like the bigger ones. That's why they use them for racing. All right, so that should probably give you guys an idea of what we do. So let me go back to the slides. Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Sorry, I think I just switched to another video. You guys can see the screen right now, right?
Yeah, we can see the screen, and it's the screen that says about Darren.
Okay, sorry. I was kind of confused too. It switched to the next video and I didn't know what was going on. I thought someone else was talking.
No worries.
So this is me. Frank did a really good job summarizing what I do. I think this is a pretty good summary already. But see, my career path is a little bit different, right? Usually people who graduated from management science, they probably go into operation research. They do a lot of optimization for production or for companies that does manufacturing. I didn't go that route. I went to study finance, and after that I graduated, came back to the States, And then I worked at Facebook for a little bit, but I was working as doing compliance on Facebook payments. So I'm making sure that you guys are not using Facebook payments to, buy illegal stuff, not selling drugs. I make sure that doesn't happen, but it was too boring for me. So my friend was like, hey, I started this company. You should join me. And then I looked at it. I was like, yeah, why not? If Mark Zuckerberg can do this and can create Facebook in 14 years, what am I doing, wasting my time working for this guy? So I came back down to San Diego, and then I started doing this. And I think it's great because from all the different experiences that I have prior, right, like in management science, so I know how to do I have some basic knowledge about how to do um, optimization, and then I'm working at Facebook, so I know more about compliance and how big organizations work. And then also Interbrand, which is a branding company that helps clients like Google and Microsoft. Oh, they're the company that came out with Bing, even though it's not that cool. But yeah, compared to Google. But Interbrand, I worked at Interbrand. I know how to do branding, so a lot of branding. I'm doing that right now too, even though my title is CFO. So private equity firm, then it's just a finance firm that invests in private companies. It just helps me how to analyze companies and their businesses to see if it's profitable or if it's something something attractive that companies will want, private equities or investors will want to invest in, or even just personally, if you're running a company, if you're running a good company, just by looking at the numbers. And yeah, on the side, I really love traveling. I think traveling helped me with a lot of perspective, and also UB Drone itself is a pretty, what should I say? It's a very diverse company because we work between China and the United States, and at the same time we sell all over the world. So I think it really helps that we have some sort of cultural understanding and sensitivity. So when we go to different parts of the world to promote UB Drone and also to set up company and also do hiring, we are more, how do you say it? We wouldn't be just be like stupid Americans are trying to impose whatever that we know to people from all over the world, whereas we understand where they're coming from and then we try to integrate better with their market, and also with people who we're hiring from different places too. And yeah, and also I really love doing art. That's why I love I do a lot of branding and also do most of the pictures and also all the visuals for the company. So if you guys go on Instagram right now, I'm pretty much in charge of the Instagram account. So all the pictures are taken by me right now. I'm kind of proud of it. I love taking those pictures. No, I don't think anyone in this industry looks at drone from more of a fine art perspective, whereas right now I'm kind of change that. And it's also a strategy of mine too, for the company, right? Like, actually, I'll expand on this on the next couple of slides, because this is the FPV drone industry right now, right? It started in a hobby industry, but now kind of transitioned into more professional usage, whereas like people in media, they use it to do filming. People are using it to do, they're trying to think of different ways to integrate this into their sector. I think people are using this for, well, we started talking to schools too. So schools would like to use our micro drones to help them for, teaching kids how to, the basics of drones and the basics of, drone engineering. But, some of the key customer pain points in the FPV industry, there's a steep learning curve. It's not that easy to start flying because we don't have any sensors to help you fly. Everything is manual. It's kind of like learning how to skateboard. You're probably going to fall a couple times, but after a little bit you get the hang of it, you'll become really, really good. And also people are extremely price sensitive. Maybe just the general consumer market, people are just price sensitive in general. So we're always trying to find better ways to either cut cost, but maintaining the same quality, and at the same time offering better products too. And the last one is I can't say lack of information. Well, what I mean by lack of information is because this industry is so new, and then there's a lot of information and knowledge. People don't know too much about this, and then we are also doing a job educating the market, letting them understand how these things work, and how to integrate them into, whatever that they're trying to do. So those are the three things that we, that in this industry we run into problems with and we're always trying to solve. But I think as a company we did pretty okay. That's why we're actually doing pretty well in the FPV industry. So we R&D and produce, high quality FPV drone parts to consumers, and we also have a really strong customer service, and then we'll also build up our own FPV community in Facebook. I think right now it's like 5,900 or something. I checked today's members, so it's going to be 6,000 soon. We have a pretty strong international brand, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing it here too, right? Because I think U.S. branding has much more value compared to like Chinese branding or other countries' branding. And then also we utilize a lot of our strong ties in China for cost saving, sourcing, even R&D, because it's when you do R&D in China, one of the best things that you can have is that you can send something to the factory and then you can get a sample back really, really fast, and then you can see if it's something that you want. If it is, then you can just start mass producing them. The time it takes to produce these things is so much faster. If you have that if the manufacturing is really, really close to you. But I'm not saying that it has to be in China. It could be almost anywhere, as long as you think the cost saving makes sense. I mean, I know Tijuana or China, Mexico has great manufacturing industry too. But it just happens that our drone components and technology components, most of them are produced in Shenzhen anyway. Oh, and by the way, there's also industrial clusters that I think people should really consider, because Shenzhen is like a drone and high-tech city. So if I want to source a lot of things, that the high-tech, chips or parts, I can source them really, really fast. Whereas if I were to do this in another manufacturing city, I don't know, Detroit, make cars, it's not the right industrial cluster for me. So even though it is a manufacturing city, but it's not the right industrial cluster. So it depends on what kind of company, what kind of manufacturer you are. It just happens that we're a tech manufacturer, so it makes more sense that we're also in China. And we also lucked out because we also speak Chinese, so it's a great thing for us. It's our competitive advantage. And so current company condition, half the team is over here in San Diego, half the team is in Shenzhen. The China team takes care of sourcing, manufacturing, R&D, and then we take care of sales, marketing, and then design of products, and also design packaging. We also have a lot of remote contractors, and they are all over the place too, because sometimes it's cheaper, right? I can hire someone in San Diego compared to I can hire someone in North Carolina, which their cost of living is so much cheaper, and they also produce pretty decent work too. So I can do that, and also time zone too. I could be sleeping, but they'll be working. So when I wake up, I'll have some products, or I'll have some designs out already. So it makes a lot of sense. It's great. Like, you kind of learn how to efficiently utilize the time. So even when you're sleeping, you're producing work too. So I think it's really, really smart if you guys have a lot of, cultural sensitivity, and also you're not afraid to go out and then find different contractors that are all over the world. So you could better efficiently use your time and also your cost. And also they have specialized knowledge too. So for example, if I want to get into a particular market, like the European market, you kind of want someone who just knows how European market works, right? We don't know anything about the EU laws. And then, after Brexit, UK is gonna leave European Union, and all of a sudden you can't have a distributor in the UK because UK is not part of the European Union anymore. You need to move that somewhere else. But who knows that knowledge, right? Even I also did an exchange in France, so I kind of know a little bit about European law, but I don't know that much. But if I have someone who knows how all these things work, it'll help tremendously. I don't have to worry too much about it. So that's also one of the strategies that we employ operational wise, to help us grow the market. And then, I mean, the company itself is it's structured, but it's also very agile, because I think when you're a company, you gotta move really, really fast. I mean, this is something that I learned when I was working at Facebook too, right? Facebook motto was move fast and break things. I think I think it makes a lot of sense when you're young, right? Like as a company when you're young, because you are gonna mess up, but you gotta move really fast because the industry moves really, really fast. Um, but obviously you don't want to be, too crazy like Mark Zuckerberg. Now he's getting a lot of trouble into Congress. So that's something to keep in mind of. And then other things that we do that's not completely business related. We sponsor schools, and we sell to schools too. We offer them much cheaper prices. So yeah, we sold to Sweetwater High, and then Northeastern University, and then UC Berkeley's Drone Club. So those are some of the examples that the schools that we try to help and support. And then we're also featured on Wall Street Journal, even though it's just a small little quote. But I personally think is kind of proud of this, because we're just a small company that's been around for what, like 4 or 5 years, and to reach a level of being featured on mainstream media, I think it's something that helps a lot. So it just shows that we're actually on the right track when it comes to doing marketing also. Yeah, so that's also one point, right? Like, manufacturing is not just purely manufacturing. You don't have to think yourself as an OEM. You have to think about the standpoint of are you trying to create a brand also? Because you could be like Apple, where you design everything, you manufacturing, and then you also create a brand. Or it could be a company like Foxconn. All you do is just OEM. You just create your own. You just really good at manufacturing. You don't even care about the brand. You just sell to other people who are just branded for you. But because our company, we're more comprehensive. We want to go from from the start all the way to the end. So from manufacturing, design, everything to the branding, we take care of all of that. So we spend a lot of time on doing branding. Oh, however, but running a company, also what I realized is that if you're running a company that makes products, product and manufacturing is still number one. Branding comes later. You want the cash flow to be coming in, then you'll have some more cash to do your branding. And as long as your product is good, then I think branding kind of comes naturally, and then it becomes easier for you to brand your product. So for companies to start, especially doing manufacturing, you don't have to. I wouldn't suggest putting too much time on branding initially. Eventually you will, but focus more on the products. And yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna go on with a dialogue here with Darren. You want to stop sharing the screen, and we'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
Is there a particular story behind the name Newbie Drone, Darren? I was reading about your company and your website, and it's kind of unique, and I would like to capture that.
Well, technically, I wasn't the person who founded the company, but whoever founded the Newbie Drone company, it's kind of like a wordplay, because Newbie Drone in Chinese kind of sound like awesome. Newbie kind of sound like awesome, so it's kind of like awesome drone. But I wouldn't say it's actually a pretty vulgar way of saying awesome, so we don't really tell people about it. But it's like an inside joke that kind of goes around. It's
Right,
kind of effing awesome.
right. When I read that in your website, I thought that was very cool to read. And
Yeah.
why is your company set up the way it is? Manufacturing in China, sales, marketing in the US, and tell us about those advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah. Well, the FPV market, and also most of all technology market, I think they're first of all they're in the US, and second, branding wise, you want a US brand, which you'll command more trust and more power, and when you try to sell it to other places too. I mean, I'm not sure if you have this experience, but I think most people people probably don't think about it, but most people will trust the US brand more, even when it comes to schools, right? Like, because I graduated from both UCSC and Peking University. Peking University is technically the best university in China, but if I'm trying to find a job with Peking University on my resume, HRs don't give a crap. But if I try to look for a job with UCSD on my resume, HR actually kind of look at me because they actually know, well, they at least heard of this school.
Right.
So when it really comes to, you know, brand and also signaling, you know, prestige or trust, anything that's United States will be better. And the reason why we have manufacturing in China is because, first of all, cost. You know, if labor cost is 1/3 over there, it's cheaper. And second of all, like I said earlier, the industry, especially the tech industry, you have a huge industrial cluster in Shenzhen that makes almost everything. So if you want to source chips, if you want to source, I don't know, heat sinks, if you want to source carbon fiber, you'll have them just, you know, right around the corner.
Right.
Compared to, you know, some other industrial clusters, you probably can't find all of that.
Right, which gives us a great perspective of what we need to do in San Diego, and especially here in South County, since we're so close to the border, have this dynamic and amazing
Yeah.
cross-border business with Mexico. But I like how you speak to the students in the way that you just basically wrapped it up and gave us an overview of, hey, you know, I was in this field, had this experience, but then I ended up here, and we can see your excitement and how you're transmitting this to the kids, to the students. But I would like for you to take just a short moment to speak to our entrepreneurs. Now, there's entrepreneurship here in the United States is very, very strong, and I know that in China it is as well. But what have you seen, and if you can speak to entrepreneurs here in San Diego, what are the opportunities in this industry that you think that it's going to strengthen the cluster that you so mentioned, which is very important to have to attract more companies?
You know, but I think San Diego has really good biotech, actually. Biotech is probably San Diego's one of the strongest industries in probably in the entire United States. And one of the reasons because you have UCSD, and then each year they would produce great human capital to get, you know, that could be employed to do research and to do R&D. And then you also have Scripps, and you have I forgot the other places, but yeah, there's a lot of biotech companies and research institutions that are just around already. And so I think biotech is one industry, whereas I think if you're a entrepreneur and then you like this industry, you should definitely get into, and if you're in San Diego. I don't know about Mexico's manufacturing capabilities in terms of, like, you know, manufacturing chemical stuff. If it's strong, then this industry is definitely, it's solid. Like, probably really, really strong.
Yeah.
What else?
So cluster-wise,
Yeah.
you know, if we were to strengthen the drone technology in South San Diego County, the cluster. So what do we need to strengthen this cluster?
I think this is just my personal opinion, and I'm not sure if I'm completely right, but you know how, like, FAA is trying to control a lot of their spaces? If there is less regulations, or there's more exemptions for us to, you know, use places to fly, or even to have events. For example, if I mean, we had this business idea, whereas it's kind of like a marketing idea for our own company too, to host drone races in San Diego, right? Then that could bring in some, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but I guess some tourists, which can help out the hospitality industry, and also tourist industry. And you know, San Diego is 24/7. It's always sunny, right? You wouldn't get the weather. It wouldn't be a factor if you're flying. So it's great for outdoor flying compared to, you know, hosting these kind of events in New York, where it'll snow during winter. So I think these are some of the strengths that San Diego have, and I know South County is actually pretty I wouldn't say liberal, but they're much more open to offering spaces for drone companies to do testing too. So that's great.
Right. Yeah, we have a testing site, that.
Yeah, I thought about utilizing that spot, but it's because we're in Claremont, so it's a bit far. And then we kind of just do, right now we're doing a lot of indoor stuff, so we kind of do indoor racing, and then we just have like other people who does the bigger drones. They would test it during weekends when they go somewhere else to fly.
Okay.
So that's how we work around this. But I know some other companies, I think Action Drone uses the space down south too. So
That is correct.
We're pretty close with Action Drone too.
Yeah, and we are doing obviously our part. I mean, I'm asking you as the company, but as an economic development organization, we're doing our part by, connecting and grouping the drone companies. And you mentioned one of them, like Action Drone and others, that are part of the San Diego Industrial Consortium drone consortium. So that is very important. And Darren, for companies, location is extremely important.
Yes.
What I see in the drone industry is data.
Oh yeah.
Right. So work has been reshaped by what we have known, and I've studied this a little bit, but what is called the 4IR. The fourth industrial revolution, they call it, and I'm going to put it on quotes, of technology now. So including artificial intelligence, known as AI, machine learning, known as ML, Internet of Things, known as IoT, and robotics, all working in concert now, right? So office workers are no longer subject to boring tasks like data entry and document reviews because of intelligent automation. Solution can read, even complex unstructured content and deal with it in a very effective way. Intelligent apps now, I mean, even drones use that, right? So intelligent apps can even, kind of help out and only, in a way, kind of help you read emails better, and not have a lot of junk and stuff like that. So here's the question. Instead of data being centralized in data centers or even clouds, how is data so important to a drone company like yours? And where do you store it? And how do you structure that?
It's very interesting because we're actually part of the drone sub industry that doesn't deal too much with data. The only data that I really deal with is just sales data. Okay. Because we're more on the entertainment side. So like the technology that really is utilized, other than calculating the speed and then how the drone is going to fly, it's just using cameras. So we don't really record any data per se compared to other drone companies that actually really need a lot of data, like for example GPS coordination, and then also might also have some of your personal information too, right? Because now FPV needs a lot of people to be registered. We're not part of that, so unfortunately, I wish I can answer your question.
So not even in gaming, data is not important.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Maybe in the future, but I don't know. I think the most right now would be eventually, if you want to fly, you need a pilot's license, right? A 107, right. But those data are still part of the federal's database, and then I don't think that's, at least in my industry, my sub industry, it's not too much heavily utilized when it comes to data.
Well, this is a great segue, Darren, to my last part of this dialogue, and then we'll open up for Q&A for our audience about the future. Then, if we were to take all of us, our audience, you and I, and we're in a time machine, and we step out of this time machine, and we're in 2030, and we look around, and it's so different than 2020.
Yeah.
Right. And as we mentioned earlier, with this fourth industrial revolution technologies that have largely removed the monotonous stuff, right? What more? Or the people are healthier, or because technology is used in hospitals and things like this, and you know, people get around easier. So we see that around as 2030. What will we see about newbie drone in 2030?
I mean, my ambition is to grow the newbie drone retail side to be the biggest in the West Coast. I mean, if possible, biggest in the United States. But we do have other competitors, so it'll be hard. But you know, that's a target that I wish I could reach. When it comes to like just product wise, so not the retail side, but product wise,
Huh?
I'm trying to get into my drones into education, so schools. I want see as we integrate more drones into our daily lives, I think drone education will be very, very vital in engineering schools. So I want to be able to offer high quality components and micro drones where people can actually learn to build them, understand the concept behind them, and at the same time after that you could play around with them too, right? So that's a goal for us to get into education, and also for us to make these micro drones much more accessible to just regular people. So we want these drones to be where you could see them in Walmart or other just big box retail stores. And because our drones are a little bit different from the toy ones that you guys see usually, right? The toy ones they're pretty damn cheap, and then they don't really use good quality products. You gotta connect that to your phone and all that stuff. I mean, I think phone is great, but like, see, phone, there's latencies in it, so you wouldn't get the image in the right time. You might be flying into a wall before you know it. After 1 second, then you see it. Oops. There's that, and then also what else? Those toy drones, they're basically toy grades. And then I don't think you'll be able to really enjoy the full capacity of immersion flight with whatever product that they have right now. So I hope that this can be something that we could transform and revolutionize. So to make, like I said earlier, right, to make immersion drone accessible to everyone, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely, yeah. I like how you framed this, and I was also thinking about what I read about your company, which as you're expanding your inventory, which is what you're talking about with products and everything else. Your company is doing its best to become a comprehensive one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And so, if we were to get a feeling of that, how will that look? Because if you're this becoming small, but can become a very big e-commerce business here in the U.S.
Yeah.
How can you see newbie drone being that one-stop shop?
It'll be just like the go-to drone shop, right? Like if you anything that's drone related, you go to newbie drone to get them, and then it'll be kind of like, and then it's kind of like, oh, if you want to get home equipment, you go to Home Depot, right? That's what we're trying to aim for, but for drones, and then mainly on e-commerce. And I think I don't know. I'm still debating about this, like the value of actually having brick and mortar stores, because now that first of all, there's COVID, but it's just the fact that companies have so much lower operational cost if you actually don't own a brick and mortar store. So I think eventually the world, just everything will be a little bit different. We have an idea of how what we want to become, but I still can't be 100% saying this is what we will become, because everything just changes too fast.
Right, absolutely. Good. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to open it up for Q&A, Darren, and if we can have someone unmute yourself and introduce yourself very quickly, and please tell us your question.
This is Brett Smith. I just started typing a question in, but I'll just read it.
Hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm a development counselor at a work training program in Chula Vista. So I help individuals with vocational planning and trying to get work. And I'm just wondering what the job market is in this industry. Is there entry level work, or does it require a lot of training? And then, for example, there's a drone operator class offered through Sweetwater School District. Adult education is something like that worth taking?
Okay, so to answer the first part of the question, job market in this industry, the FPV industry hires people from all kinds of, field actually. I personally actually don't even know how to fly a drone. They make fun of me. They call me penguin because I'm a bird but I can't fly. But if you have the right knowledge to work in this industry, there's always opportunity because it's an industry that's growing. But so it depends on and also depends on what part of, the company you're working in, right? If you're working, so for example, my company, right? This company, we have shippers and we have people doing customer service. People that are shippers and do inventory, they have a different knowledge. I mean, it's more hands-on training. I can find someone and just train them and have them work in the shipping department, and eventually if they get good enough, I can transfer them to some other department. Whereas people who are doing customer service, they need to know how drones work already. So to give a simple answer, we do take almost anyone as long as they have they have knowledge, and also we can train them. But more specifically, if they want to work closer with the development and also some technical stuff, then yes, it helps if they have electrical engineering knowledge.
Very good. We had John that raised his hand. John, go ahead. John Alvarado. Unmute yourself.
Wait, I think it didn't.
John, you can unmute yourself.
Brett's completely.
How about now?
Do you have another part from to answer from Brett?
Okay, my name's John Alvarado.
Give me 1 second, John. Brett, you were saying, Darren?
Sorry, I think there's a second part of Brett's question.
Oh yeah. Please go ahead.
Sorry, what was the question again? I'm so sorry.
The second part of my question was the drone operator class offered by Sweetwater School District.
Yeah.
Is something like that worth getting?
So right now, people who have this license or these drone trainings, the biggest problem is that there's no, I think there's no segue for them after they graduate to find a job that's actually, related to this. Because I think companies who are trying to look for drone pilots, they don't know where to look for right now. So if there's some sort of connection that can be created between these, like platform or database, I think that would help a lot, actually.
You could go ahead, John.
Okay, my name is John Alvarado, and I'm the executive director of a program called the Good Neighbor Project. And I used to teach the drone program at National City Adult School. And my wife now teaches that class, and we have gotten several students jobs, and many students have been certified in the FAA 107. We are currently working on a project to get students in high school, because a 16-year-old can get an FAA 107 license. So we are very interested in working with different schools. Now, I'm supported by the City of San Diego and Promise Zone and the County of San Diego, both of which have given me grant monies to purchase drones and to start allowing us to market, if you will, to different schools, to show them what's available, so on and so forth. As far as jobs go, yes, there are plenty of jobs, but here's the caveat. For instance, Caltrans, they would like to have someone who has surveyor background, but if that's not possible, okay, they want someone that has at least 50 hours, possibly on a commercial drone. In their particular case, they're using the Phantom Pro 4 and a Matrice 210. Our plan is to go ahead, purchase those drones, have a program where once the individual has got their FAA 107, then we would give them those hours that they need by doing work in the community, okay? and collecting those hours. We were on Channel 5 News here about 6 months ago, and someone, Darren, you might know, Cesar Gonzalez.
Oh yeah, Caesar. Yeah,
Okay.
he was here.
Okay. Cesar is probably like the ace pilot of the South Bay, 16 years old, and very articulate and very capable. And it's our plan to go ahead and take those kinds of students, okay, get them those commercial hours that they need, okay, and then guess what? Now they become very viable, okay, to like a Caltrans or Chula Vista Police Department, all of which we're working with. We're also in the process of working with some groups out towards Campo with the San Diego Gas and Electric, and a couple of fire groups out there who are very concerned about fire, so on and so forth. And granted, using a $1,000 drone as opposed to $1 million aircraft to go ahead and track fires and whatnot is much more cost effective. I would definitely like Darren and Brent to get with me, because there's a lot of things that we can do in our communities to truly make a difference, okay? In addition to that, we have also started a company, okay, called, well, I won't give you the name yet, but it is essentially a drone company who will be able to do services such as real estate, so on and so forth. And then those monies we can use as grant monies to help individuals who are less fortunate get their license. I mean, for instance, right now at National City Adult School, the FAA 107 program is free, right?
Right.
That's a biggie. Now, but it still costs 160 some odd bucks or so to go ahead and actually get your license, not to mention to be able to purchase drones, commercial drones, right? We start them out initially, you know, some of the smaller stuff, would love to be able to use a local company like Newbie Drone to go ahead and get people started, but and then work our way up into the drones that are, you know, of more commercial value. And you know, I could go on forever, but I'll go ahead and stop there.
Yeah, John, and we're gonna also share Darren's information as well. So I think this is a great opportunity to connect.
Please do, Efren. You know who I am. I've been a teacher for the last 30 years. I started teaching IT when a new program called DOS was getting ready to come out.
And things evolve. Thank you, John.
And I've been through it all. I've been able to get over 1,000 of my students jobs, because for me, it's about core values, education, and at the end of the day, you got to have a job. That's what's going to make a difference in our communities.
Yeah, thank you. Which opens it up, Darren, for a very good. It's a good segue for a question that Alisa also asked in the chat, and she's saying, if an engineering student were to take on a second field of study, what would you recommend, Darren?
Okay. By the way, John, thanks for that. We'll connect later. So, a friend, you can please share my information with John.
Absolutely.
Make it soon.
And okay, at least second field of study. Other than engineering, I think engineering is pretty much the core when it comes to this. I you know what? I think anything. It really is anything. The drone industry, like I said, we're hiring people from all kind of different fields. Engineering is pretty much the foundation of the product and how to use the product, but having knowledge of everything else would probably help tremendously too, because what I saw is that a lot of people who are probably really good engineers, they're not good at probably doing the finances, they're not good at doing operation, or they don't have great business training. So I think business could help a lot. Probably even industrial design. I think that would help a lot too. So if you're actually making drones, if you have an industrial design background, then you can create drones that are awesome, in capabilities and specs, but also in aesthetic values, right? Then you'll be on your way to create Apple products. So I think that could help too. So anything could help, but personally, I would choose either, industrial design or product business.
Yeah, very good. And thank you, Elisa, for that question. Anybody else that would like to jump in and ask a question? Eileen, Jasmine, anybody else? All right. Well, we're really close to the end of our session here.
Quick one.
Is there? Yeah, sure, John. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. In terms of additional information that someone might want to go for besides just engineering, okay, if they're planning on going into business for themselves, entrepreneurship is a biggie. Okay,
Yeah,
you need to take those classes. Okay, now if they're going to be working for someone, like say a real estate company, then or a construction company, then they need to know the key elements of that particular company. Okay, or that segment. Okay, right now, the big one right now is construction. Okay, of all types, be it for construction of bridges, buildings, whatever the case might be, just an apartment complex. You need to know how to put that piece together, because I'll tell you this, none of these companies have any clue as to how to manage a drone, if you will, office from their departments. None of them do, okay? And there's even classes now that can be provided for companies, okay, that want to put up a drone program, okay? And we're working with some folks back in New York on different kinds of curriculum and whatnot, and it's already set up, and we're trying to get it here in San Diego, okay? But it's going to take a community to put this thing together. And I just want to thank everyone for being here today. And please look me up. We've got a mission, and we can overcome any obstacle if we put our mind to it.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. And Darren, any closing remarks, please?
No, just thank you guys for inviting me. It's great to talk to you guys about the company. Hope you guys learned a lot about the company, and hopefully the information that I shared is very useful to you guys.
Thank you so much. We're very honored, Darren, for participating and giving us a talk here. This will be recorded for everybody to watch, and I'm actually sharing Darren Hong's information here. You have a chance to look him up, website, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and obviously his email address is right there.
Yeah, the rest of other than the email, everything else is the company's, but that email, it's my work email. I respond to them. Sometimes a little bit slowly, but I do respond. So.
Very good.
I get bombarded with a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to be really honest with you.
There you go.
Yeah, but I do respond to them.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And again, recorded videos will be on our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages as well for South County EDC. And we thank you and everybody that joined us today, and all of you that will be watching this recorded videos. And I want to do our quick commercial here. So South County EDC is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. In our jurisdiction, our cover area is from Coronado, National City, all the way down to the border, and is an organization that's the voice of binational business. We work very, very strongly with our counterparts in Baja, and obviously the international businesses in the global market as well. So we offer many services here in South County to the business community, to also the entrepreneurs, site search. We have a free site search assistance program, the San Diego Industrial Drone Consortium as well that we're part of, that started here, and also other programs that will benefit, such as finance, access to finance, and other programs that are very beneficial to the companies. Again, we thank everybody for being here, and enjoy the rest of the month. This was Manufacturing Day. And thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Efren.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. All right, take care.
You too.